It is with a deep sense of duty and high resolve that I accept the position of President of the Dominican American National Roundtable. I accept it with a full and grateful heart, without reservations, and with only one obligation: the obligation to devote every effort of body, mind, and spirit to lead this organization to the next level of functioning, to the full extent of what a national advocacy organization of this nature should be. I am grateful to those who before me founded and developed DANR into what it is today. They have provided the structure and base that is propelling this organization into an entity that will stand in the gap, represent and struggle for those rights that are essential to the human dignity of all men: civil, economic, and educational rights. This is a goal and principles I will carry with enthusiasm and conviction. I am grateful also that in this honorable endeavor, I can rely on so many others, on a hardworking and committed board of directors, on a distinguished advisory board, on continuous or one-time sponsors who invest in this type of project for the betterment of our communities, and friends and colleagues of the Dominican community like you, who with their time, talent, and money tell me we are on the right track. I'm proud of what we Dominicans as a group have accomplished since our arrival in the United States some 50 years ago. I am confident that we are successfully, with both competence and courage, occupying our place in this society. I'm also aware of the challenges we face, and I'm certain 50 years from now, history will tell how we overcame them. I won't say the success we seek will be easy. We all know that in our hearts. We recognize the power of the forces and external challenges we face. We are also aware of the more powerful internal challenges we must overcome. I can tell you, we came from that island 3.5 hours away by plane to begin a new life here as pioneers who gave up their safety, what was familiar, their lives, to build a new life for themselves and their families here in the United States of America. The Dominican American National Roundtable was founded 13 years ago by a group of visionaries for whom national advocacy and representation for Dominicans was an idea whose time had come. It emerged as that umbrella, bringing together the voices of Dominicans in the United States. Over the past 2 years, DANR has undergone a transformation, a restructuring of its board of directors, a revamping of its mission, and a refocusing of its objectives. It has held tight to those elements that give it continuity and protect the national status it has reached. It continues to operate out of our headquarters in Washington, D.C. It will again bring a group of college students to Washington for our fellowship program. It has embarked on the U.S. redistricting project to engage Dominicans in the United States in the redistricting reapportionment process with the objective of achieving adequate representation of Dominican and Latino constituencies. It has launched the National Dominican American Council, the civic engagement public relations arm of DANR, which oversees the organization of Dominicans in the United States into local councils that we may mobilize and take action as one voice. Our commitment to realize our mission of advocating on behalf of over 2 million Dominicans in the United States is unshakable, is uncompromisable. We are aware that we're leading an immigrant community in trying but exciting times, globally and nationally. The changing face of this country's future is revolutionary. An urban population explosion has overcrowded schools, cluttered up suburbs, and increased the squalor in the slums. The revolution for human and civil rights, demanding an end to racial discrimination in all parts of our community life, continues to strain the leashes imposed by the executive leadership. I say it is time for good, strong leadership men and women to cope with challenges and opportunities. It is time for courage, not complacency, leadership, not salesmanship. And the only valid test of leadership is the ability to lead vigorously. We are leading a community, a small piece of this huge national puzzle in determining and world-changing times. DANR is the candle that, as a beacon in an ocean of turbulence and awesome opportunities, can guide us to a safe and successful future. Its concern is the present and future of our community in this society. I ask you today to join me in the DANR Board of Directors in this honorable cause of ours. Join us as a collective armor-bearer army. In biblical times, an armor-bearer was an officer selected by kings and generals because of his bravery. His purpose was to bear the armor and stand by his leader in the time of danger. The book of 1 Samuel tells the story of Prince Jonathan and his armor-bearer. Saul, Jonathan's father, and his army had been reduced to about 600 men as a result of Saul backsliding from God. There were only 600 soldiers left from his 3,000-member army, and he had just gotten the news that 3 war parties were dispatched from the enemy's camp. The Philistines, the enemy, were operating from a stronghold and terrorizing the Israelites to the degree that most of the army had deserted or was hiding in caves. Of the 600 men, only Saul and Jonathan had weapons because the Philistines had taken away their blacksmiths. Prince Jonathan decided to go over and stake out the enemy's camp. As customary, his armor-bearer accompanied him. They crossed a narrow path between 2 steep cliffs, and upon arriving at the camp, Jonathan, full of outrage for his people and the courage of one who's taking an honorable risk, said to his armor-bearer, "Let's go over to those heathen. Maybe the Lord will do a miracle. It doesn't matter to him how many are in their army." His armor-bearer said, "Go forth. Do whatever's in your heart. I am with you, heart and soul." The rest is history. Prince Jonathan and his armor-bearer climbed over the cliff and killed about 20 men who fell left and right. Panic struck the entire Philistine army. An earthquake came, and they began killing each other in confusion. The Lord saved Israel that day through a soldier and his armor-bearer. We must come together and emulate Jonathan and his armor-bearer. As now more than ever, we need to stand with our leaders, poised to face challenges, meet financial responsibilities, and move our communities forward. Go forth. Do whatever's in your heart. I am with you, heart and soul. Those words are music to any leader's ears, whether he's a weary church leader, community activist, elected official, businessman, educator, civil rights leader, Little League coach, a community-based organization, or a national organization such as the Dominican American National Roundtable in need of an arm of support. I ask you to join us in this honorable cause of ours, in this cause of carving out our community's rightful place in the United States of America. We can march in step with each other, no one pushing or shoving for position, but rather united together to great exploits. We should close ranks around our leaders and strengthen them and protect them, that they may, with virtues and flaws, accomplish their peace for themselves as individuals and consequently for our collective good. I ask you, we ask you to stand with me, to stand with us, with our leaders in this honorable cause of ours. Join us as a collective armor-bearer army. I ask you to stand with us, to support us, to close ranks around us, to strengthen us, because in standing with our leaders, in supporting and strengthening them, we are strengthening our communities. We are strengthening all of us. We are strengthening the United States of America. Thank you.